Hello class, today we will start midpoint theorem. So what it means, what it says in a triangle, if we join the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle, then the new line will be parallel to the third side and will be equal to half of it. This is the statement. We should learn this statement also, okay? So now, suppose we join these 2 points and these are the midpoints. Suppose this is D, this is E. These are the midpoints, so these two parts will be equal and AE will be equal to EC because these D and E are the midpoints. So what it says, if we join the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, then the new line will be, this is the new line DE, will be parallel to the third side. DE will be parallel to BC, DE will be parallel to BC and will be equal to half of it, and DE will be equal to half of BC. This is the finding of the midpoint theorem. So now we try to prove it. This is the midpoint theorem. Now we want to prove it. Now in the given part we will write down that what is given. It was said that in a triangle, if we join the midpoints of two sides, so it means, suppose we have a new figure here. Suppose this is the new triangle PQR. Given triangle PQR, in which suppose this S and this T, in which S and T are midpoints of PQ and PR respectively. Okay, S and T are the midpoints. This is given to us. Now what we need to prove, if we want to do any construction, so I will left this space because I don't know whether I have to do construction or not till now. So now I am letting this space, and now I will write to prove what we want to prove, that ST is parallel to QR and ST will be half of QR. This is we are looking for. ST parallel QR and ST is equal to half of QR. Now based on this information, we only know that these two parts are equal and this part is equal to this part. So based on this information, we are not able to move further because we have nothing. So it means we have to do construction. What we have to do? Construction. So in construction part, suppose I draw a line RM parallel PQ. Suppose I draw a line like this, RM parallel to, this is the symbol for parallel, so these two are parallel, RM parallel to PQ, and now join this. This is also a dotted line. Okay, in your questions, all of the constructions, every construction you will show by dotted lines. Okay, so join TM. Okay, this is what we have done. So now we will try to prove that triangle PST and TMR are congruent. Now we are looking in triangle PST and TMR. Now come here, this PT is equal to TR. One point we know because T was the midpoint. Other point which we can say is that these two are vertically opposite angles, and vertically opposite angles are equal. Two things we have got. And now what we have done in construction, that PQ is parallel to RM. This is the construction. So it means this angle P and this angle R must be equal because these are alternate angles. So if these are alternate angles, Then we have three things now. This line PT equal to TR, these two vertically opposite, and these two alternate angles. So triangles will be congruent, and congruent by ASA, angle, side angle. So I am putting this as angle 1, this is angle 2, suppose this is angle 3, this is angle 4. So I am writing here angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because these are vertically opposite angles, and I am putting this angle 3 is equal to angle 4 because they are alternate interior angles, and I am also writing this as TP is equal to TR because this was given to us. Okay, so now I write here that triangle PTS is congruent to triangle RTM by angle, side angle. So what we have got these two triangles as congruent. Now if these two triangles are congruent, from CPCT what we can have, like we can have from this this PS is equal to RM. From this we can have PS is equal to RM, and we can also have this TS equal to TM. Also have TS equal to TM. These two are by CPCT because triangles are congruent, so these two parts will be equal. Now look in the figure. Now PS equal to RM. PS and RM are equal. So it means this PS was equal to SQ also by construction, that S was the midpoint. So it means RM and SQ are also equal. So therefore this RM is equal to PS and PS is also equal to SQ. So these three are equal, RM, PS and SQ. So therefore we can say that RM is also equal to SQ. These two are parallel and equal. Okay, these two are parallel and equal. So and you can also mention that also RM is parallel to SQ because RM was parallel to PQ, so obviously RM will be parallel to SQ also. So therefore SMRQ is a parallelogram. Why? Because in a parallelogram, if in any figure you find pair of opposite sides parallel and equal, then it will always be a parallelogram. Pair of opposite sides parallel and equal, it means it will be a parallelogram. So SMRQ is a parallelogram. So it implies SM is parallel to RQ. So therefore SM will be parallel to RQ. And if SM is parallel to RQ, SM is parallel to RQ, then ST will be parallel to RQ also. So it implies ST is also parallel to RQ. Okay, this was the one of the part that ST will be parallel to RQ. This is proved. ST will be parallel to RQ because these are the opposite sides of parallelogram. Which parallelogram? SMRQ. Okay, now we can also see that this SM should be equal to QR. From this figure we can also see that here we are writing next part, SM is equal to RQ because these are the opposite sides of the parallelogram and opposite sides of the parallelogram are equal, so SM is equal to RQ. Now we know that SM is made up of ST plus TM is equal to RQ. ST TM will be equal to SM. By figure we have S. Now what we know, we also know that TS and TM are equal. TS and TM are equal. So it means twice of ST is equal to RQ. So it implies ST will be RQ by 2. So this was the second part. What was the second part? That ST will be half of QR. So clearly we can see what we have done. We have done the proof of the midpoint theorem. If you join the any midpoints of any two sides, then the side will be parallel to the third side and will be equal to half of the third side. This proof is also part of the syllabus, And one more point, that in the last chapter you must be wondering why we have not done the remaining exercises, because this syllabus has changed and we have to do only congruency part from the last chapter. Next we will do the converse of this midpoint theorem. Now we will do converse of this midpoint theorem. Now in converse of midpoint theorem, what that converse says, if in a triangle a line is drawn from the midpoint of one side parallel to the other side, then it will bisect the third side. What it says, if a line is drawn from the midpoint of one side parallel to the other side, then it will bisect the third side. What it means? It means if we have a triangle, suppose this is our triangle ABC, and in this ABC, suppose this is the midpoint D of AB. From the midpoint of one side, if you draw a line parallel to the other side, if we draw a line parallel to, suppose, BC, this is the line which we have drawn parallel to BC. If you do this, then this point E will also be the midpoint of AC. Means in the given part, now we are doing proof of this. In the given part, it is given that AD will be equal to DB and DE will be parallel to BC. Okay, AD will be equal to DB and DE will be parallel to BC. This is given. Now what we need to prove, construction I am letting some space. So to prove AE will be equal to EC, we need to prove AE and AC are equal. So again, by looking at the figure, we know that not enough things are there to prove this. So we do the same construction as we have done in the previous part of midpoint theorem. So what was that? Suppose this EF parallel AD, construction EF parallel AD. Again you have to mark all that line which you are constructing as dotted line. So may mark it like this. This CF is parallel to AD and join this DE with F. Okay, so now join EF. Okay, so this is here. Now proof. In proof we can clearly see that BCFD is a parallelogram. We can clearly see that BCFD is a parallelogram. Why parallelogram? Because BC is parallel to DF and DB is parallel to FC. So this is a parallelogram. Okay, and we know that in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. So we are using BD is equal to FC because these are opposite sides of parallelogram BD FC. Okay, BD equal to FC, and also BD is equal to AD. This is also given. This is also given that AD is equal to DB because this is the midpoint. So it means BD is equal to AD and BD is also equal to FC. So therefore AD is equal to FC. Therefore we can say AD is equal to FC. Now come to this triangle. Now come to this, here I am writing triangle ADE and triangle EFC. Now consider these two triangles. Now we can prove that these two triangles are congruent. Why they are congruent? Because AD is equal to FC, first thing. Second thing is these two lines are parallel, this one and this one. So this angle and this angle will be equal. So suppose this is angle 1, this is angle 2. So angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Again the reason is they are alternate angles. Okay, and the third thing is these two are vertically opposite. Angle AED is equal to angle CEF because these are vertically opposite angles. So therefore these two triangles are congruent by AAS. By AAS, and by CPCT we can have AE equal to EC. By CPCT we will have AE equal to EC. So E is the midpoint of AC. It means E is the midpoint of AC. Okay guys, so that was the converse of the midpoint theorem. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Thank you guys.